when it comes to like relationships. And do you think of it only as in a financial sense or like all around?
I mean, that's a good question. I think most people, when they mention it, they're thinking about it from a financial perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that is fair to ask if it's like in general. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that I think okay, I answer this on multiple levels. On
Okay.
the first level, like people who even fixate on that, to me, is kind of a red flag because it already shows that they're trying to keep score.
Mm.
And the healthiest
Mm-hmm.
relationships don't keep score, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at people who like really been like married for long periods of time and they have a really good marriage, like they'll tell you sometimes, even if they had a guy who was a provider, maybe
Yeah.
he gets on hard times and she got to step up
Yeah.
for a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're
Yeah.
keeping score, that just causes unnecessary friction to the dynamic. Now,
Mm-hmm.
on a higher level, I don't recommend guys lead with the 50-50 thing because it ruins polarity.
Mm.
So polarity is based upon asymmetry, right? So polarity is what makes you attracted to the person. It's what magnetizes you to one another, right?
Yeah.
When you talk about passion, for passion to exist, polarity must exist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Polarity is based on differences and asymmetry, right? So asymmetry is like if I go on a date with you and I'm asking you questions about yourself, I'm playing the role of like the observer and you're playing the role of the observed,
Yeah.
right? So we're playing different roles, which creates that asymmetry, which keeps polarity intact. If
Mm-hmm.
both of us keep trying to play the same role, polarity is going to be ruined. Like me as the man, I'm taking the masculine role. I ask you on the date, right? I
Mm-hmm.
I plan the date, right? I
Mm-hmm.
lead on the date. I'm playing the role. Like you can't also embody that role, right? If you do, the
Mm.
polarity isn't intact, right?
Yeah.
So the problem with 50-50 is you're taking away asymmetry.
Mm-hmm.
You're essentially having both parties play the same role. And it can
Mm-hmm.
work, but it will decrease passion.
Yeah.
And then you'll create that roommate dynamic. Now,
Mm-hmm.
let's say you have to do that for financial reasons, because a lot of people do, especially with this economy, right? When
Right.
I coach men, I tell them that they have to find ways to demonstrate polarity in other domains.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have to go 50-50 financially, you have to like lead in other ways,
Otherwise,
right? Or
yeah.
even if your woman is like maybe she's the highest earner in the household, right? You still have to find other ways to lead. Because if you don't,
Mm.
that polarity is not going to be intact and your relationship is going to suffer from it.
Yeah. That was a very good answer. And the thing you said about the keep and score thing on the 50-50 is crazy. I've never thought about it in that light, and it just makes so much sense now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm
Absolutely.
also married. I don't know. I just saw your panel. I just thought I'll hop up and ask that question because I feel like that's a topic that goes around like a lot. Like people are like, oh, like, and what do you think about, oh, like what do you bring to the table? Like, do you think that women should be quote unquote bringing something to the table?
I think that so I think it's tacky to ask that question, right?
I think
Like
so too. Yeah.
it's just a tacky thing to ask. But here's the difference though. It still makes sense why it's being asked. Let me explain.
Mm-hmm.
So both the sexes have to elevate in different ways due to the differences of the culture that we live in. So we come from like a history where women were looked at as second class citizens, right? And they needed men for like
Mm-hmm.
provisioning, for protection, all that kind of stuff. They weren't given the education, they weren't allowed to work, so they needed men, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they chose men out of a place of need.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now that they are no longer in those conditions, they don't choose men, or it's becoming more and more true that they don't choose men out of need anymore. They choose men out of desire.
Yeah.
So, but there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of men who try to get women based on an old paradigm. So they try to
Yeah.
get women based on this protector provider dichotomy. But that's how things
Mm-hmm.
used to work. Now men have to be desirable. They didn't have to be
Mm-hmm.
desirable in the past.
True. Yeah.
If you had a good job, all that kind of stuff, you can get a woman because you needed
Yeah.
to.
Exactly.
Now that she has
All you
like
needed was a job.
right, so now that they went up that like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, they select for different traits now. So yeah, it's nice, and a lot of them still do want you to be able to do those things, but now they require more. Now you also need to be desirable to me because I can pay my own bills, right? So now I'm choosing you because I want you, right?
Okay. Not because I have to.
Right. So that leads a lot of men to being frustrated because up until recent history, all you had to do was the basics. Now I gotta hit the gym. Now I gotta make sure my style is on point. Now I gotta be able to flirt and stuff like that, or else I'm going to be missed. Right? And a lot of men are frustrated with that. But it doesn't just affect men. It also affects women. Because women used to just be like, I just have to be pretty and that's it.
Yeah.
But in today's time, that no longer is going to fly. Right? Now it's like, okay, the way the dynamics have changed, now being pretty isn't enough. Now you have to actually add value to my life in some way, shape, or form.
Exactly.
And when that question, what do you bring to the table? Even though it's a tacky question, it comes from a place of, I'm not selecting just for beauty anymore. I'm also selecting for people who can actually elevate my life. So both sides are resisting the change. Women who have nothing else to offer but their looks hate that question. And men who are not desirable hate the fact that women are selecting for desirability now. But both have to evolve.
I just feel like I feel like the question, obviously, it's something that needs to be answered because obviously, like you said, like someone has to add value to your life, and that's like whether it's a male or like a female or whatever, guy or whatever.
Right.
Like that person has to add value to your life in some way, and if they don't add value to your life in any way, then the relationship is pretty much useless.
Sure.
But I think it's just maybe the choice of words. Because I'm pretty sure there's other ways to find out, like what basically that person can, for lack of a better term, do for you or add to your life.
It's definitely a choice of words.
It's 100 to the table. I feel like the way it's brought up to in the times we're in right now is just kind of given like I don't know.
It feels like an attack.
We just need a better way to ask it. Huh?
Right. It feels like an attack the way that it's phrased. So it's like, it automatically puts women on the defensive.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, so it's 100% the phrasing, but the intention is still like, it's sound. Because it's like, I don't tell men to ask it. Again, I feel like if someone's asking that, they just have no social skills. They have no social graces. They don't know how to engage socially. It's just a weird question to ask. But the place where that question comes from is a very real place. Because nowadays, beauty is a commodity. You can pay to be beautiful. You got enough bread, you can be beautiful. As a woman.
Exactly.
You have enough money, you can 100. I don't care how chopped a woman is. If she got enough money, she can be beautiful. So now beauty is the rarer something is, the more valuable it is. So when beauty couldn't be bought, it was more rare. Therefore, it was more valuable. Now that it can be purchased, the value decreases. It becomes a commodity. It becomes
just kind of like
paper.
Whatever.
Right. So now it's like, what else you got? Right? And it's like, yeah, both parties, everyone would love to do things the easy way. Someone said beauty can't be bought. Like, aesthetically, yes, it can. But,
aesthetically, yeah.
Yeah.
You could literally get a whole face change.
Whole face.
It looks like a totally different person. I don't know, maybe I watch too many movies, but they be doing it in the movies. Changing their whole faces to look like somebody totally different. Like, you can definitely look, I guess, more aesthetically pleasing or whatever.
Absolutely.
Or more, what's the word I'm looking for? Socially, like, beautiful where, I forgot the word I'm looking for. But basically, beautiful where, like, more people than not think you actually look good.
Right.
Yeah, so you could definitely basic that done.
100%. So it's like just more is required. Both sides are requiring more, essentially. And the people who are more lazy and don't want to give more are resistant to it.
Honestly, I feel like relationships are just so easy. I don't know why people make it so difficult, bro. Like, it's just, I don't know.
You said you're married?
Huh? Yes, I am.
How long have you been married?
3 months.
Okay, so it's fresh.
Yeah.
How long were y'all in a relationship before y'all got married?
So, funny story. Not that long. And for most people, if I was to tell you this time, you would probably have a heart attack.
Uh-huh.
And for most people, it would be considered, quote unquote, like too quick. But the thing is, for us, like literally from the start, literally from day one, like we were having like serious conversations. We like exactly what we wanted. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like we're not just looking for friends with benefits. You know what I mean? Like we wanted to be married. Like we wanted a family. Like we talked about finances. How are you with finances? How am I with finances? You know what I mean? Like saving. Like how are your spending habits? You know, your spirituality, like do you believe in God, you know what I mean, like discipline with kids, you know what I mean, like how do you go about with that, like how close are you all with your family, like would you ever want family to move in, like are you just okay with giving people money without, you know, like checking in with your partner, like how do you feel if your partner answers your phone, you know, like
Right.
literally, when I tell you literally everything, and we literally did marriage counseling, and when we went to marriage counseling, they literally gave us a bunch of topics, and they're like, yeah, these are like important things that you guys need to talk about, and we're sitting there like, we literally discuss every single one of them early
Right.
on, and I feel like that would save people so much time,
Right.
so much time,
Right.
so much time.
How old are
You
you
know what I
two?
mean? But yeah, we knew each other, what, 2 weeks before we got married.
Gotcha. How old are you two?
30 and he's 28.
And y'all met how?
Military.
Okay.
And I know military relationships get a bad rep. I see you smiling. I know you probably heard some stories, but and also, like, I don't know if you're a man of faith, but we both are, like I said, like we're both Christians. We both, that's one of the things that we talked about earlier on, and I feel like we both keep each other like on that path.
Right.
Like our relationship isn't only just like physical, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like we literally this morning we were both at the gym together. He literally sent me a workout to do at the gym,
Right.
and then he went to work. Like
Right.
he's in school for his bachelor's, I'm in school for my bachelor's. He be helping me with my homework, I help him with his. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
we're literally helping each other get better in like every.
But you still know
part
that,
of our
like,
life.
because of how early this is, there will be challenges, right? Y'all are just basically
I mean,
saying,
of course,
right,
of
that
course,
you have the
of
tools.
course.
You did the preparatory work to where you have the tools to
Oh yeah.
navigate
To
those
start
challenges.
it off right, yeah, it started off really right. And,
Here's the
and this is
thing.
one thing
Some
we talked
people,
about early on.
some
Communication.
some
I
people,
feel like communication is like a really big thing. But go ahead.
it's a huge thing, but it's like I've seen this exact situation go very badly, but also very good. It just depends on the people. Like, I know there's people in my family who got married very quickly, and that like
Yeah.
a decade plus later they still are a happy couple. So it's like it can go. Sometimes people get lucky like that. Sometimes people from like a biblical perspective are favored that way, right? Some people
And we
just
don't
have
like to
that.
use the term lucky. We say blessed.
Exactly. That's why I said favored from like a biblical perspective, right?
Favorite, yeah.
So it's like they some people that's the story that they have, right?
And some people are engaged for like 2 years, and then they get married, and then they're divorced within a month. Like
Right.
you, shit could happen. Shit could happen regardless.
Right.
Honestly.
Right.
And literally before we got married, like it's one thing we prayed together. We prayed separately. My dad is also like a really big Christian. Like he also prayed for us. Like I said, we went to marriage counseling. Like God is something that is like in the middle of our relationship. Very early
Right.
on, we realized that no matter how much we like each other, no matter how much we want this life together, it's never gonna work if we just try to do it by ourselves.
Right.
And like another really important thing is like communication. That's one thing that has been like really big for us from the very beginning. Like we and even this morning we were talking about it, and it's like we don't have arguments, we have discussions, because obviously at the end of the day we're two different people, and no
Right.
matter how much he loves me, no matter how much I love him, there's days when he has really pissed me off, and there's days when I have pissed him off. But our thing is, we would literally be discussing something right now, like he has a different view on something, I have a different view on something, but our thing is, when we have times like that, I give him his space to say exactly what he has to say, and then he gives me my space to say exactly what I have to say. And then another thing is listening to understand where the person is coming from, and not just to respond. Not because you think you're right means you're right. And you could be right, but you also have to realize that your partner's feelings is valid also. So you have to listen to respond, like, okay, like even though I might be right, let me try to understand where they're coming from, and then maybe we could come up with a compromise, or maybe that will give me a chance to choose my words properly. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like things could be so simple if people just communicate, and I feel like a lot of relationships fail because there is a lack of communication, because people just don't communicate properly.
It's a little bit more complicated than you're making it sound, though, right? So it's like everything you're saying is true. What you're not factoring into this equation, Brandon, what's up, bro? We was talking about you last night, man. What's not factoring in is like the seasons of life that people are in. So you're describing the way that people will engage if A, they have the skills to do it, which it sounds like you and your husband do, and B, they're regulated enough to deploy those skills. But sometimes in the seasons of life, when you are in a low place, you lose access to those skills sometimes, right?
No, of course, yeah.
And it's like that will be where the connection is really, really tested. Right now, it's still like on a high just because it's not been long, but being able to still navigate those very low moments, that's where things get a bit more challenging. The only thing I'll push back on out of everything you said, I agree with everything you said. The only thing I'll push back on is you saying it's easy, because it's not. No relationship is easy.
That's it. Oh no, I said communicating. No, I said that's what's easy.
No, I'm saying like when you first talk about
no matter what the issue is at hand, right. It could be something really big. Because I promise you, like, I don't want to go into my life story, but I promise, like, so many like life changes has happened. Like, one of the things, like, I literally got out of the military, and the way that I got out, what I promise, it wasn't the best, and he was, and that was at the start of our relationship.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like that was at the start of our relationship, so we had to navigate that, and also like he had stuff going on his side, like multiple deaths in his family. So there was a lot going on. But I was just saying, like, the communication, because we're able to communicate. I feel like it helps us like navigate like a lot of things, and helps like stop like a lot of arguments. Because I've had relationships before, and I feel like a lot of relationships before could have worked out if we were both able to communicate together.
Right.
I'm not saying no relationship. I don't think any relationship is easy, because there's a lot of factors, outside forces like family, friends, like whatever. But being able to communicate would, I'm not saying it would ensure that you guys like last forever, but it would give you the best fighting chance. That's what I believe, the best fighting chance.
Well, I love it, love. I hope that y'all stay together and prosper for many years to come. Definitely keep me posted on how things go. All right.
I will.
All right, then. Take care. All right. That was a good little combo. Let's see. Who else do we got? I don't know. Let me see. Shorty may have dropped. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Great, how are you?
Good. So, I've been friends with this guy, and we decided to get a little close a couple of months ago, and we were just talking and everything, and then he had told me that he had an ex that he was emotionally attached to, and he couldn't get over her because this is something that, this is someone who he had dated since he was like 18, but they like keep going back and forth. And he said he wasn't looking for anything serious, but since I had known him for like so long and I have always liked him, I decided to just say like, oh, that's fine. But then like a couple of weeks ago, he went back to his ex, like he went in contact with her, and he told me about it, and I was not fine with it. So we don't really talk anymore, but I just feel so like exposed, and now I feel like, oh my God, like, why did I do this?
Okay. So what is your question here?
So how do I move on from this situation? Well, I did tell him I was hurt, and he did say that, like, hey, I told you from the beginning, like, everything.
How did you meet him?
Just mutuals.
Oh, so through mutual friends?
Yes.
Okay. And the question is how to move on. How long ago did this occur?
Like 2 weeks ago.
Okay. And how long were y'all together?
Not long, like maybe a month.
All right. So the first thing is you have to stop investing energy in this direction, right? You have to
Mm-hmm.
stop. If you want a plant to die, you stop watering it. So you have to stop watering the situation with your attention. Okay.
Yeah.
So any pictures you have, any text chains you have, delete them. Right. You follow him on social media, block him, remove all attention. As you remove all attention, you'll naturally begin to start moving on. And part of removing all attention is also to stop talking about this situation. Like,
Okay.
there may be some time to talk about it so you can process things, but that shouldn't take long because you were only together for a month. So there's no need to keep reinforcing this story with other people, right? So no talking to your friends about it, no talking to, and maybe give yourself a timeline. Okay, I'll talk about this for like one more week and then that's it. Right? Get all the talking out of your system. Then no more talking about it. And that will
Okay.
be like the last step of you
Yeah.
investing any energy in this direction.
Do you think it was good of me, like, to tell him that I was hurt, or
No.
like, should I have acted unbothered?
What was your goal in both of those situations?
I'm not sure. I'm just saying.
There's asking that question means you're looking for some sort of reaction. That's not necessary.
Yeah. I get.
So it's not a good or a bad thing that you told him you were hurt. It doesn't matter ultimately because the connection is over with.
Right.
Does all that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, love. Well, I do wish you the best, all right?
Mhm.
All right, take care. Mm-mm-mm. Let me see. Hello.
Hey,
Hey, how you doing?
you okay?
You say what?
You okay?
Not now. That was weird energy. All right.
Hello. You good, bro?
You said what?
You good?
Block both of them, mods. Get them both out of here. Mods, if people beg to come up in the chat, don't let them up. If you see them begging to come up, don't let them up. Okay? It's always weird energy when people beg to come up. I don't give a fuck, Osbate. Let's get them blocked immediately. Appreciate you. All right, who else we got? Um, let me see. Who was that? I have no idea. Why did they both ask? They probably both planned it. We've had like weird couples come up sometimes. You know how losers tend to get into a relationship with other losers? That's normally how that happens. Bad news if you're with a loser. It doesn't bode well for your own positioning. But yeah, they'll do stuff like that. They'll do stuff like that. They're probably in the same house. On a twin bed right now watching this live. Well, they were watching it before they got blocked. It's just stage one duet. Stage one duet. Absolutely stage one. Well, how we know that's stage one? Eva, that external supply, right? If someone trolls, they need external supply. They're automatically stage one. Automatically stage one. Stage one people are barely sentient. They're like, NPCs. They have no identity. Let me see. Say with no sheet. Let's talk about key points to online dating because obviously I'm not doing it right. Michelle, are you new here? Because if you've been here for a while, you should know I'm pretty anti online dating. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I've been a bit more like aggressive with my online dating stance. When you're online dating, people on dating apps. Let me preface this by saying that you can find quality people on dating apps. Okay, they just typically don't stay up there long. All right, we're talking like 2 weeks max. They get off. Usually, how it works. And when I say quality people, I mean both people who have optionality and who are emotionally available. Okay, that's how I'm determining quality here. Just by being on a dating app is an admission that you can't find anybody else. It's an admission that you can't find anyone. Hence the app. So when you date someone from a dating app, all you're really finding out is why they can't find someone. And then you're deciding whether or not that's a deal breaker for you. So dating someone from a dating app is like, let's see why you can't find someone. Okay, that's not so bad. I think I can deal with that. Oh, you have 8 kids. Okay. That's why you can't find someone. All right. Oh, you have 0 social skills. Oh, that's why you can't find someone. Oh, you're significantly overweight and you're misrepresenting yourself. Oh, that's why you can't find someone. You have hygiene issues. Oh, that's why you can't find someone, right? You're emotionally unavailable. Oh, that's all dating apps are. Okay? You're just finding out why they can't find someone. So, harsh, yes. True, also yes. Reflect on your dating app experience. Reflect on it, and you'll see what I'm saying is true. Because everyone you dated, the main thing that you found out is why they cannot find someone. There was a woman who called in yesterday, right? There's so many reasons why I'm anti-dating app. There was a woman who called in yesterday, and she was like, she was using dating apps. And she said, it's not working for me because I think like all the guys I'm meeting right now, I feel like they're just not interested in me. And I was like, why do you feel like they're not interested in you? And she was like, well, they don't ask me any questions about me on the date. And I said, well, that's not normally due to them not being interested. A lot of times people don't have good social skills. She was like, really? I was like, yeah, think about it. Why do you think they're on the dating app? They don't have social skills to meet people organically, so they need the app to meet people. Then they get on the date and you find out they have bad social skills. Which circles back to you finding out why they can't find someone. The only people I recommend dating apps to, especially considering that I primarily coach men, is some people are introverted by nature though. Introversion has nothing to do with social skills. Introversion is just how do you recharge your batteries. Introverts recharge in solitude. Extroverts recharge typically through engaging. You could be an introvert and have phenomenal social skills. Okay? You could be an introvert and not be shy. It's just how you recharge your batteries, right? So, what was I saying? I lost train of thought. I'm an introvert and shy. Yeah, your shyness is not the same thing as being an introvert. You certainly can't be a man and shy, so I hope you're a woman. If you're a man and shy, boy, you're cooked. You better get out of that shit and fast. I work from home, so I use the app because most of the week I'm in the house, right? But you can also leave the house, right? You can also... Oh, yeah. So I only recommend dating apps to guys who need dating experience because you do get experience fast. Because dating apps offer you speed, right? They offer you speed. But the cost for speed is quality. It's a microwave meal. It's a TV dinner. So yeah, you can meet people very quickly. You can meet a lot of people very quickly. But you're sacrificing quality to do so. So, can you elaborate on the shyness aspect? Yeah, you can't be, bro, you can't be shy in a man, bro. Like, that don't work. Women can get away with it because of like just how society like handles masculinity and femininity. And the feminine position is a more passive one. Like, women have people come to them. Especially a beautiful woman. A beautiful woman will have a man try to help her. Right? Okay. You can't be shy as a man. Come on now. You gotta, that's a terrible trait to have as a man. That's a terrible trait to have as a man. Because you gotta go after what you want. And shyness prevents you from doing so. So it puts you in a feminine position. It puts you in like a feminine positioning, right? So it's like, you can't. Like, I've had people on coaching calls and they're like, I'm shy. I'm like, you gotta get over that, bucko. Because shyness is just fear. That's all shyness is. It's not a trait. It's just fear. It's just how your fear manifests. The fear that you have manifests you as shyness, right? Okay, well, let's handle the fear, right? Because fear is, you can conquer fear. Don't ever let fear stop you from doing some shit. That's just the epitome of weakness. You gotta conquer fear, man. As a man, you gotta start like, and as a woman too, it's not even a masculine thing. You gotta move in the direction of fear. Remember, fear is just a compass that shows you where your growth is. Two types of fear. There's like the fear that keeps you alive. That's the good fear. Second fear is the more neurotic fear. Like, it's not protecting you. It's not helping you survive. It is helping you survive. It's protecting the old, smaller version of you from dying. So the neurotic fear is trying to keep the highest version of yourself from manifesting. There's like this small, scared, feeble side of you, and fear serves the function of keeping that version of you alive. Because if you face the fear, that part of you dies, and it's replaced by a higher version of you. So you being shy ain't gonna cut it. Most smart people tend to be shy though, and they still, no, they don't, Afia. Where are you even getting it? You just pulled it out of your ass, love. That's not, I'm pretty sharp. I'm not shy though, right? What are we talking about? Shy baby, what's going on?
Do you remember my story?
Parts of it. Please give me an update. What's going on?
I think this might be the last update, but so basically.
Hold on for the chat. Give us like a play-by-play, a little recap of the situation because they need to hear this.
Yeah, so basically a friend I have for about like 12, 13 years. She started dating this man. He's about, I think, 37. We're 27.
Uh-huh.
And he has 3 kids from 3 different women. Ooh. And at first, it was just like, I'm not dating him. Like, he's just like, somebody that I can go to for like, because he does consulting. Mm-hmm. And then like, so I didn't really know much about him. But then just out of the blue, she's like, oh, I'm going to marry him. Like, we're going to get married and stuff. But he doesn't want to like commit to a relationship right now because he doesn't believe in boyfriend and girlfriend. And I was like, seems like you're kind of in too deep for me to like have opinions with it, Right. But we all like hung out with him once, like twice. But the last time he came down to meet her family and like spoke to us and everything. And like, he just had a lot of like things a lot of things he was saying, I was like, how does he know so much about like our lives? Like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to decide, like, do I tell her how I feel about him just knowing about like me? Because I'm like, why does he have to know about like my life? Like, you know, I just thought that was like a little uncomfortable for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like in a bad way. It was just like him knowing about like girls, things we've done in the past, and like knowing about like, because I got into a car accident, him knowing about my car accident. I was just like, in my head, I was like, girl, why does he know so much about my life? You know, and like
Right.
our friends' lives or like things. I just don't think it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So I told her, and then something happened, which I never even told you about, actually. But I was getting out of work one day, and she had decided to tell me out of nowhere that she had sex with a guy behind my back in 2020. And I was like, why are you telling me this now? Like, it's been years, like, you know? And she said, in order to grow it, like, to be the woman I need to be, and in order to move on in my the relationship, I was like, relationship between me and you, or like you and the guy you're dating? And she was like, she paused really fast, like for a while, then she goes, me and you. And I was like, okay. And then she's like, yeah, I slept with the guy behind your back. Remember when you told me like if I was like sleeping with, I'm not gonna get, it's a backstory, but like since then I was like, was her intentions for me, or was it because of the guy you're dating, and maybe because he's older and he wants to see you're like a, you know what I mean, like you're a real mature girl? I don't know. But so a couple days ago I told her about this. I was like, hey, listen, like I want you to know that like there's just certain things that I've noticed between our friendship that like is rubbing me off the wrong way. Like, one is just like, why did you decide to tell me something like that at this moment of our lives? Like, you know? And she's like, oh, do you deserve to know regardless of whenever I told you? And I'm like, yeah, but like you're telling me because this guy, you're not telling me because of me. The guy was upset with you over something he found out about you. That was between them, which I won't get into. And then also throughout the fact what you did to your friend, and it's just like, oh, I don't know if I can trust you. And then you just put a Hail Mary and called me and told me that. Like, I think that's wrong. And then also, like, if I'm telling you something about my personal life, I would prefer you not to go and tell your man. Like, I get it, it's your man, like, you're going to tell him things, but, like, your personal friend's business isn't your man. You know, it's just your business to just tell your man. And then she was like, well, everything I tell you, like, you tell me, I'm going to tell him. I'm like, what? And she's like, well, like, this is someone I'm going to marry. And I'm like, I understand, like, you like him and everything and you love him, but, like, that's just not, what does my business and my life have to do with him? Like, I just don't see it's necessary unless it involves him.
Right.
She's like, well, that's just how my relationship is. Like, that's just how it's going to go. Like, if you should be happy for me, like, before I met him, like, I wasn't, like, secure in myself. I was unhappy, and now I'm like, well, as he should. Like, that's how it should be in a relationship. Like, your man should make you feel, like, good. But, like, you shouldn't have to, hurt other people and expose people to do that. And she's like, what do you mean, as you should? I'm like, no, I mean, like, as he should. She's like, oh, but it's not as you should. I didn't even understand what she meant by that. She said that, like, it's not everybody that gets that. So what do you mean as you should? Like, social media makes people think that as you should is, I was like, girl, you are reading way too much into it.
Right.
But anyways, so then she's like, I'm going to get him in the conversation so we can all talk about it. Because I think if you hear him talk, then you will see where he's coming from with the whole, like, talking to him about, like, what you guys are going through. I said, sure. So she gets him in the conversation. And at first it was, like, calm, you know, he was just like, what your friend did to you was wrong. I told her that, like, months ago, even before she told you. And then she did something to me that I found was odd. So then I told her, like, you know, you're shady, or, you know, you're a sneaky girl, and that's probably why things don't work out for you. I'm just listening to this man, like, what?
Right.
And then that's when she called you and was like, all right. So I was like, yeah. So basically she told me because she looked bad towards you. And she literally said to me, I hope this doesn't affect our friendship, but I have to tell you this in order to move on in the relationship. Lie to me, one, that it's about me when it's not. Two, you knew that if you tell me this, it's going to basically either make or break our friendship, but you felt that this was necessary, you know? And I told him that, and he was like, he was like, pause. Like, he kind of knew I'm right, but he just kind of like let it go. Then he started saying that, like, no offense to him, but like when I first met him, I was a little shocked because he looked older. Like, he looked like he was like 45. And I told her that. I was like, he kind of looks old. Like, girls talk. Like, I didn't even know that they were heavily like a thing. And she ended up telling him that I said that. And I was like, girl, why didn't you just come to me about it? I didn't think it was something you were going to run and tell him. You know, I didn't even know you liked him that much. And she was like, oh, then he was like, oh, no. And she told me it was something like she was in defense of pursuing something with me. And she was like, even my girl told me that you look old. And I'm like, yeah, he does. I'm like, but like, why am I like why am I getting involved like in your, like, I just talked to her like a girl, like we all talk, you know? And so he's just like, I don't know. I just feel like, you know, I was thinking like your girl, Nay, you know, she is young and, you know, she has a lot to learn anyways, but like, you know, she should be more focused on how I'm treating you than how I look. Cause the reason why I look like this is because I've had to work on my life and everything. And I'm like, well, I apologize I told him I apologize if I made you feel like that. He's like, oh no, you didn't make me feel like anything. I'm like, well, like, I apologize for saying that. And yeah, it's more about how you treat somebody. So the conversation is like going fine. And then he starts talking about how he makes all this money and that like, he does this for her, he has responsibilities, and do I know anybody that's millionaires? 10 up to 10 guys that are millionaires. And I'm like, I mean, I'm 27, all the guys I've dated are like in their 20s, so I don't know any guys that are millionaires, but the closest guy that I know that can provide is like my father or like my uncles that are like that, you know? And like, you know, he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, like, I never dated a guy that's 30 in their mid 30s. So like, I'm sure a man in their mid 30s is more established, like, you know, and he's like, what do you mean more established? Not everyone's established. And I was like, okay, I'm going to speak for myself because I grew up in a Nigerian household. That is like like, not no offense, but like being in your 30s, you should be established enough to have your own place. And like, you know, I wasn't trying to be like insulting to him. And then he's like, but isn't your mom isn't your mom the breadwinner? And I'm like, what? And then he's like, yeah, your mom, I heard your mom is like a big boss. Your mom's an NP. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, like, but my dad, you know, I'm like, I'm not going to get into this because it's a lot, but then he ends up getting.
Hold on. Unmute yourself, Shy Baby. I think the Maz muted you because they want you to land the plane. But unmute yourself real quick. I don't think does she not hear me? Hold on. There we go.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Okay,
You're
sorry.
Good. Go ahead. Keep going.
Do you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm just going to get to the point. So, because I wanted to get to how it got to this point, but I guess I would just get to the point. But he goes, like, I started crying because he's coming for my life. I was like, yo, like, I'm just got out of work. I did a 12-hour shift. Like, this is a lot. And I'm thinking, like, why has it gotten to this point? But he just starts saying, oh, you're shady. The comments you make is shady, da-da-da. I was just, you know, I wanted you and your friend to, like, be able to work out because you guys know each other for years. And I told her, like, she was wrong for the things she's done. And don't be jealous of your friend because she has a bigger butt and everything. I'm like, what the fuck? Sorry, excuse my language. And then he's like, but, you know, you're shady and there's nothing good you say. And, you're going to cry and play victim. Like, why? Like, oh, you're going to hang up the phone. I'm like, what? And then he's like, oh, where you grew up, is it because where you grew up, like, oh, you're going to continue to cry? What are you going to do next? Call rape? And I was like, what the freak? I was like, that is crazy. I was like, you're going to, what? And he's like, no, you're going to call rape? I'm like, that's not something you just say. Like, what if I have been raped before? Like, you don't just make comments like that. And he's just like, well, have you? Because if you have, you can call rape. And I'm just like looking at my friend and I'm like, bro, you're just going to let him talk to me like this? Just because I mentioned him being older, it makes more sense how he's established? And he's upset about the whole looks comment? And she's just like, well, girl, he is a grown man. And if you're going to make comments about, you know, financially, you don't know what he's gone through. Like, you know, I'm like, but he asked me, he's the one that mentioned to me about, do I know 10 millionaires? And that's why I gave that as an example. Like, I'm like, this is a red flag that he can yell at a woman like that, especially your friend, and talk about rape. And she's just like,
Gotta stop saying,
like, no
you gotta
offense,
start
but
saying the R
she's
word,
just
though.
not seeing the problem. I'm like, am I bugging?
You gotta stop saying the R word here. But is that your question? If you're bugging or not?
Yeah, because I'm like, what? And she's like, you're just not happy for me. And I'm like,
What made you stay on this call so long?
Because she told me that, I don't know, I think I just wanted her to see my point, and maybe he would see my point, but it just turned into like a 2 against 1 situation. I was like, all I wanted you to do is not talk about my business to your man. That's all.
Okay. So, your friend is gone. Let's just get that out the way. She's gone, right? Her friend is stage 1, for sure. No sense of self. So her entire identity is being wrapped around this relationship. So your friend is out of there. Okay.
I even forgot to tell you, because I was like, I even forgot to say this part that annoyed me as well.
Okay.
I was telling her, like, you know, because my...
Why you keep...
So, no, I don't know. It's automatically muting for me. I don't know why. But my birthday's coming up in November, so I told her, like, she said she doesn't want to be going to girls' trip. So I said to her, okay, like, you know, I guess I understand, because...
Okay. Yeah, there's no point even getting into that, Shy Baby. There's no point. Your friend is gone. Your friend is gone.
Yeah.
So go ahead and accept that your friend is gone. You can't rescue her. She's out of there. All right? This guy has like cult leader type vibes. I'm going to tell you where my head went immediately. I'm not saying
but
this
he seemed like a nice guy.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
It doesn't matter. This, I was like, okay.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They voted for Adolf to be in office. He seemed like a great politician at first. Don't matter how people see him at first. Time always reveals character. So, it doesn't matter how people see him at first. Okay? The thing is, your friend is gone. This guy has vibes like a cult leader. What did I tell you, like, the first time you called in about this situation? You remember?
I think you just said that he's, like, older, and you've seen this before. I don't remember.
Well, I did tell you that he was gonna try to sleep with both of you, didn't I?
Oh, yeah, but no, I don't get that vibe from him.
You don't get that vibe? I'm going to tell you the play that I saw that he set up. I'm going to tell you the play that I saw. Potentially. I can't say this with any certainty.
Yeah.
But the whole thing about your friend sleeping with a guy behind your back. Remember that?
Yeah.
How could someone possibly get revenge when they find that information out?
Sleeping with their friend? I don't know.
She slept with someone behind your back.
Yeah.
If you want revenge, how do you get it?
Sleep with her? The guy? I wouldn't. I'm sorry. That's crazy, though. That is some demonic ass shit.
Right. But I told you before that he was going to try to sleep with both of y'all. And now
but
I'm not
he's
saying...
meeting the family. He's meeting her family.
None of that shit matters. Okay? But that seems like the play that he was setting up. And then, like, getting you on that call, it seemed like he saw that wasn't going to happen, so he went in the opposite direction and started tearing you down. But that seems like the play that he was trying to set up. Is like, you need to go tell her that you did this just to, under the guise of strengthening y'all's relationship, but really, her knowing this information, you know, sets this up to where she may come looking in my direction now because she wants revenge on you.
Wow.
That's what it seemed like to me. You know, I can't say that's 100% accurate, but that's what it seems like to me. So, your friend is gone. I would leave this...
I'm more concerned about my friendship with this girl, and I'm just...
Oh, that's over with. That's over with. And the reason why I say that's over with is because this relationship is revealing how true of friends y'all are.
Yeah.
You just like her, and she just like... I mean, you may be her friend, but she just likes you. Friendship to her is not loyalty. It's I like you. And really not that I like you, I like how you make me feel. You haven't been here, you don't come here daily, so you don't know about my stage concept of stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. It's like stages of development. Stage 1 people don't see real people. They are addicted to how other people make them feel. They don't have a solid sense of self. They're externally fixated. They don't know who they are outside of being connected with other people, right? That's why she completely changed when she got in this relationship, because she has no stable identity.
Yeah.
So if it became between choosing you or choosing him, she's choosing him because that's where all her better feelings are coming from.
Yeah.
Who do I feel better with? I feel better with him, therefore that's who I'm rocking with, right? So he's not the problem. Her level of development is the problem. You replace him with someone else, she does the same thing. So you can't have any kind of loyalty with someone who doesn't have loyalty to you. So you don't have a friendship. You're her friend. It's not mutual.
Okay. I just think that's crazy because I've known her for such a long time, and I'm like, it's just certain things that I'm just like, wow, like this is wild. I'm sorry. I think it's just crazy, but yeah. And I honestly was even more insulted because I like offered ideas that we could do together that didn't revolve around like a bar, or like a club, or maybe just like a girls' night or like going to the movies. And she's like, if he's not there, I'm not coming. I was like, what?
Yeah.
She's like, that's just how our relationship works. I'm like, what? That is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I would go ahead and leave that. I mean, you can keep her around if you want, but she has to be demoted.
I can't.
I get it.
I was just like, is this because I was thinking, is it her or is it the guy? But I'm like, this is her.
Because it's both. The guy is revealing what has always been within her.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
No problem, love. Best luck to you, all right?
Thank you. Bye.
I don't know if any of my fellas checked out Shy's page, but pressure. If you're single and you're near Shy, I definitely would encourage shooting. But if you want your 1 hour coaching call, you see this icon right here? You hit that at the bottom of the screen, shoot me a message. I'll ask you about your situation. If I can help you, I'll send you a link to where you can book your call. This is for both men and women. We go a lot deeper, right? Like if Shy purchased that call, we would go way deeper into that situation. We would go deeper into why she stayed on that call, why she's so invested into this connection, right? All types of stuff. So you want your 1 hour coaching call where you get clarity and an action plan that will help you get ultimately what you want, solve whatever problem that you have. Shoot me a DM, I'll be in touch. All right, who do we have next? Buddy said he went on Shy's page, he already checked. I'll tell you, man, there's some pressure in here. A lot of the pressure are lurkers. They're not people who actually engage in the chat, right? But y'all can't see what I see on my end. But this isn't matchmaking, but I can't stop you from shooting. You want to shoot your shot, shoot your shot. Okay? If you want to shoot your shot, shoot your shot. I can't stop you. Just don't be hounding people, because then I got to block you. Guys, wait until she get coaching before you shoot. Save yourself. How long was she on the call with that sociopath? Yeah, Buddy definitely has some sort of personality disorder, for sure. That seemed like kind of like narcissistic vibes, because like he attacked her, or she attacked him, and that's when he switched. That's when he went on the attack. And like, all right, now I got to put you in the dirt because you just attacked me in front of my shorty. You know how much work I've done to brainwash this chick, and now you questioning me in front of her? Nah, I got to put you down like Old Yeller. I got to take you out back like Old Yeller real quick. You feel me? I know I got a lot of growth to do, but my goodness, I'm not that bad. What do you mean, CJ? Not as bad as what? Would you coach someone not currently dating but wanting to date healthy with intention? Of course. Yeah, you don't have to be dating for me to coach you. The coaching can be, like move up the stages if you are single actively and not actively dating. For sure. Stages, please. I've been thinking about the sequence. Okay, so you want me to go through the stages. All right. So there's 4 stages of development. This is applicable to both men and women. Stage 1, men and women do not have a identity. Okay? They don't have a true sense of self. They are fixated entirely externally. They're fixated on external supply. They need what is called external supply. There's 2 types of supply, external supply and internal supply. Okay? Supply is just how you generate a sense of okayness. How do you feel okay? Right? Some people can make themselves feel okay internally without needing anything external. Most people need something external to feel okay. As you move up the stages, you start focusing more on internal supply as opposed to external supply. Okay? Stage 1 people, men and women, focus exclusively on external supply. So when they are with you, they're not really with you. They're with you because of how you make them feel. You make them feel differently or a way they don't want to feel or a way that doesn't generate attraction, they leave. They often move on very quickly because they're not choosing anyone. They're just latching on to people because the external supply is needed. You don't want to deal with a stage 1 person. They're a flight risk. They probably would cheat on you. They need validation. They need attention. You don't give them validation or attention, they'll likely seek it elsewhere. Okay? How do you move from stage 1 to stage 2? You move from stage 1 to stage 2 by being hurt. Pain is needed for you to move from stage 1 to stage 2. So what happens is stage 1 person is very reactive. They're not really thinking. They're very reactive. They react to things. If they're anxious, they just react to being anxious. If they're avoidant, they just react to being avoidant. When a stage 1 person goes through enough pain, they start reflecting. For the first time, they start reflecting and being like, what? I'm doing something wrong, right? When they reflect, they move to stage 2. Stage 2 is all about the wound. It's all about what is hurting them, okay? So a stage 2 person, the way that they engage people, the way that they date, they are constantly thinking about the wound. They're constantly thinking about how to not get hurt. They're fixated on, will this person hurt me, right? So a stage 2 person is also projecting on you, but they're projecting the wound on you. They're always assessing whether or not you're going to hurt me like the other person does, right? Most people in this live stage are stage 2 people. Because when you get to stage 2, you start trying to learn this stuff. That's why we're all here. You try to learn this stuff when you get to stage 2. Because you're trying to prevent that pain. When you find people the men who are in the red pill and the manosphere, stage 2. When you find women who do the Shiro 7 shit, stage 2. They're just trying to eliminate pain. They don't want to feel the pain anymore, right? Now, here's the tricky thing with stage 2. A lot of stage 2 women are developed enough to not get into relationships with the type of men who hurt them in the past. They're still attracted to those men because that wound still guides their decisions, right? So they still get attracted to the men who hurt them, but they tend to not commit to those men, right? They run from those commitments because they know that guy's going to hurt them. But they're in a tricky place because they also aren't developed enough to hold a connection with the type of man they want. So they'll avoid the men who will hurt them. They may entertain them, but they'll avoid getting into relationships with them. But when they encounter a man who is like what they want, they'll avoid him for a different reason. They'll avoid him because they think, I'm not good enough. You're going to hurt me in a different way. You're not going to stay because I can't meet you. I'm not good enough, right? So they'll sabotage that connection. They'll either sabotage the connection because they don't feel good enough, or they'll sabotage the connection because they'll just assume that guy will hurt them as well. Or they just assume getting in any kind of relationship is going to hurt them, so they run. So they're between a rock and a hard place. They can't choose what they used to choose, and they can't choose what they want because they're so hyper aware of pain that it keeps them in this like limbo state. Stage 3 is where you want to be. Stage 3 is predicated on you. When you're stage 1 and stage 2, the people who you get with them because you need them. You need them because you need that external supply. You can't really generate internal supply, so you need someone to generate the external supply. When you get to stage 3, you start generating that internal supply, so you thus do not need another person. So now you can finally choose somebody, right? You can finally choose somebody when you get to stage 3. You can't need someone and choose them simultaneously. You're either doing one or the other. If you need someone, you're not choosing them. Choice only enters the chat once need has been removed. So the best people to be in relationships with are people who do not need you because they're actively choosing you, right? Stage 1 and stage 2, they're not choosing. They're defaulting due to need. That's why they end up in bad situations. Okay? Stage 4 is like the best. That's when like the person is fully here, fully present with you, all that kind of good stuff, right? So part of coaching would be helping you move up those stages. Okay? It'll be helping you move up those stages. There's a lot more. I just gave y'all like the surface level. This shit goes a lot deeper. But most people you will find in this space are effectively stage 2. I personally am stage 3B because stage 3, it has 2 subtypes. Working on getting to stage 4 myself. But when you get to stage 3, you start having better relational outcomes. Only downside is when you get to stage 3, you have fewer romantic connections. It's easier to have a romantic connection when you're just hopping from person to person because of how they make you feel. When you start getting to stage 3, you're starting to think about compatibility at that point. And you realize, oh, I don't have that many options. There's just not that many people who can like, I can combine lives with. So it's like, it's kind of, it could be a shock to come to that realization, right? Because stage 2, you see a lot of options. Stage 1, you definitely see a lot of options. Stage 3, it's like, wait, there's not that many people who I can realistically be with, right? And then you get to stage 4. So again, if you're a man or a woman who wants to progress up the stages, this icon right here, hit the button at the bottom of the screen, shoot me a message. I'll ask you about your situation. If I can help you, I'll send you a link to where you can book your 1-hour coaching call. If you have already had your 1-hour coaching call and you want a 3 30-minute call implementation package, that's where we start to implement everything. That's where we start to implement everything that we discussed on the first call. Shoot me the message. I'll send you a link for that. All right. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Hello. She didn't mean to come up apparently.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. What can I do for you?
Good. Just a quick one. I have a situation. So I was dating a guy last year, and when I was dating him, we dated for about 6 months. I don't know if you know about this page. It's called Are We Dating the Same Guy?
Mm-hmm.
So I saw him on there, and in January, I confronted him that I saw him on there and I wasn't happy with the situation. So then I resorted into being his friend instead of actually dating. And we are friends as of now, but it's just, I'm not sure, like, even though I do really like him, I've been on dates and everything and no one is like him. So I'm just not sure. So my question is, am I wrong in walking away from that? So the things I saw on Are We Dating the Same Guy was I saw that they were saying that he was sleeping around, and obviously I asked him. He said he didn't do that. He's been consistent with me. He's been, he's been good with me. He's been consistent. We've spoken. We were speaking every day. But did I make the wrong decision? Because now he's saying that I just keep sort of like, he said that I've got extremely high standards and I'm not accepting, these situations, and I'm just not sure whether I'm being guilt tripped into dating him again or not dating him again. So my question is, did I do the right thing? I mean, I didn't have that much proof. I did ask the girls on, are we dating the same site for proof, and none of them gave me any proof, so I'm not sure. So yeah, that's my question.
How did you two meet?
So I know you're anti-dating app, but we've met on a dating app.
Okay. How many women were saying that he was sleeping around?
So there was a couple, and one of them was claiming that they were his girlfriend, but there was no proof. But I just run away because I need a guy to make me feel safe.
That she was actively his girlfriend?
Yes, but
How much time do you spend with him?
At least once a week. Well, not anymore because we're friends now.
Okay. So at least once per week you were seeing him, and somebody was saying that they're actively his girlfriend, like in real time.
One was saying they were his girlfriend. The other one was saying that they were sleeping with him. The other one was saying.
And these people weren't listing out a timeline. They were all saying things under the guise of that happening right now, like in present day.
Yes.
Okay.
They weren't being specific. So I went on anonymous and I asked, when did this happen? There was no proof. There was nothing.
Okay.
But he did tell me that he had a history before when in his younger days, he had a history of, being a playboy.
Okay. Okay. And how long did y'all date?
So we dated for 6 months.
Okay. Were y'all ever exclusive?
Yeah, so we were exclusive on date 2, and...
On date 2?
Yeah, so he asked me, not official, but exclusive. So he asked me to not date anyone else, but we weren't official on date 2. But on the other dates, we weren't exclusively together, we weren't officially together, but we were exclusively together. I don't know if that means the same thing.
Exclusive on date 2, and throughout the 6 months you saw him once per week?
Yes, pretty much.
Why so little? Yeah. Why only once per week?
I guess work and stuff like that.
You guess, so you never got clarity on that?
I mean, I was okay with it.
Okay.
It didn't. Yeah, once a week.
Yeah, I don't.
And he has kids as well. I missed that out.
How many kids?
2 kids.
How many mothers?
2.
And what are the ages?
5 and 7.
No, I don't like it. He's lying. Yeah, he's lying.
You think what the girls were saying was true?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay.
He sounds very impulsive. That's evidenced by the 2 baby mothers. He's on a dating app, so he's obviously talking to other people. He tries to move very quickly with you. But the once per week cadence doesn't match trying to be exclusive on date 2. If someone's moving that fast, I would say they get exclusive on date 2 and they try to see you a lot. But him putting exclusivity on you and then still only seeing you once per week and being on a dating app tells me that he's just gathering women like infinity stones. So the woman who says she's his girlfriend could be his girlfriend, or she could just be another woman who he's exclusive with.
Right.
Women do. Here's the thing. This is for the guys in the chat. I saw someone say that.
Right.
There are bitter women who are on those type of websites, right?
Yes.
But you have to ask yourself, why is the guy dealing with the bitter women?
That's
Right?
right.
There's a reason. The guys who said that, I guarantee you, Danny, Knuckles, I guarantee you there's no woman on those sites talking about y'all.
Right.
I've dated quite a few women. None of them are on those sites talking about me.
Right.
I wouldn't date a woman who would even do that. You get what I'm saying? So either
Yes.
you caused her to go up there, or your vetting skills are so bad that you're dealing with shitty women who would do that in the first place. Both are not good reflections of who you are.
Right. Okay. Right. So
Okay.
I walked away from the situation in January when I saw the allegations, and I just decided to befriend him because in my head I thought, right, he sounds like a playboy, and I don't want to invest into something like that.
Right.
So, but he's good company, so I kept him as a friend.
No, that's the mistake that you're making. You
Right.
have to shit or get off the pot. Here's why. Do you think if you keep him as a friend with how you feel about him, if you were to meet someone who you could be with, do you think that you would be emotionally available to even connect with that person?
Probably not,
Right. Why?
because he's in the picture.
Mm-hmm. So keeping him in the picture prevents you from meeting the person you're supposed to be with.
Right, so do I block him? Do I just not respond to him?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. Like if you feel like you're strong enough to stop talking to him, but if he happens to reach out, you still won't talk to him, then you don't have to block him. But if you feel like you'll be seduced into speaking with him, then block him.
I mean, we're not. I mean, since we've been friends, we've not been intimate.
Doesn't matter. How long have y'all
Okay.
been friends?
Since January, when I cut things off.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You still have to look at it. You've been friends since January, but you're on this call talking about him. What does that tell you?
That I'm still invested emotionally.
Right. Right. So yeah, the only way to not be invested emotionally is to remove yourself from the situation completely.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. That makes a lot of sense.
No problem, love. Best of luck to you, okay?
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
All right, Daz, what's going on?
Hi, good afternoon. Firstly, thank you for accepting my invite. I just wanted your input on a situation that I'm in. So I recently started, I guess, talking to / dating this guy. I feel like the connection was great. We have a lot of things in common, and we went on one date, and we were talking for about a week before we went on a date. And we were continuing to talk, and every day I would hear from him. He would reach out and make himself available, which was a little bit of like a red flag for me. It's like early on, not a red flag, but I was a bit apprehensive to receiving that because, we just met and I didn't really want to get myself too used to having somebody in my daily life that I just met, So 2 days after our first date, I didn't hear from him. So before letting my mind run rampant, I was like, you know what, let me just message him, show, interest that I just want to say hi. So we did a little bit of a back and forth, and then he sent me a long voice note talking about how great I am, the date was great, blah, 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 blah. And then he went into how he just recently ended an engagement last month and how he's not ready for a relationship and he just wants to date and have fun. And I understood, and I kind of took it like he might not be interested in me, at least, because it kind of sounded like the whole, I'm just not ready for this, right? It kind of sounded like he was getting ready to exit gracefully, So took that how it is, how it felt. He said that he still wants to hang out and continue to see me and stuff. So I just kind of let him take the lead with that. And he did plan a date, then canceled it the day before. And that kind of told me, like, okay, it doesn't seem like you're really interested. But I talked to my girlfriends and they were like, no, he still can be. But, like he said, he just got out of a relationship. He's not looking for something serious, which is understood. But me personally, I'm not really looking to kind of just be platonic friends or just, yes, I'm looking to, and he did ask like what I'm looking for, if I can see marriage and stuff like that in my future, which I let him know that I'm open to it, but it's not like I need to get married. Like,
Right.
if it happens with the person, then it happens. But after he canceled the date, I didn't hear from him for another 3 or 4 days until like yesterday, to which he's just, I guess, checking in, asking how I am. To which I'm just like kind of at a standstill, because I don't really know how to receive that, because it doesn't seem like you're interested, but at the same time, I kind of let you have that out, which you seem like you wanted to take. But I guess I'm saying, should I? I'm feeling, I tend to lean more avoidant. So would it be in my best interest maybe to let him go gracefully, or just to see where things can go?
Okay. So how did you meet him again?
So he is my friend's coworker, and I was out with her one day, and she was like, oh, you would maybe be a good match for my coworker. And so she gave him my number, and then he started messaging me.
And when did you find out that he ended an engagement the previous month?
So when my friend sent me his Instagram, I immediately went to it, and in his tagged photos, I guess whoever did their engagement photo shoot had him tagged still. So I saw that, and then I asked my friend about it, and she said that they're no longer engaged, and that his ex-fiance had like broken his heart, saying that he didn't want to get married. She didn't want to get married anymore. And so I basically knew before we went on the first date.
Okay. What made you still entertain him after finding that information out?
Well, I was a bit apprehensive about that, but my friend said that she had, because I asked her, like, do you think he's ready? Like, that's very quick. He just ended his engagement a month or 2 ago, and she basically was saying how he is ready. So I did, with like erring on the side of caution, going into it like, not to really expect anything, but I just wanted to go into it with an open mind.
Okay. So y'all dated for how long before he told you that he wasn't ready?
We went out on one date.
And then he told you after one date that he wasn't ready?
Yes.
Okay. And that he still wanted to see you?
Yes.
Okay. So then what do you think his intentions are?
Well, he did say he just wants to date and have fun.
Okay. So
I did let him...
What is that? What do you think that means?
I think like maybe just have like a casual fling, which I let him know that that's not something that I'm open to.
Okay.
So he just basically says he's not looking for anything serious. But my mind, I guess, went into it like it's the first date. Who's actually, I'm not going to sit across the table from you and assume that you're going to be my husband. But like you're dating to get to know people. So I thought basically him saying that was him trying to say like, I'm not interested in you,
Okay. So what is your question here ultimately?
If it would be pointless to continue engaging with him if he already says that he's not looking for anything.
Do you think he's
serious?
Do you think he's lying about that?
About him not looking for anything serious?
Uh-huh.
I think he's not being honest with how he really feels. I mean, I think because he just recently got out of something serious, it could be he's still processing and healing.
Okay.
But I don't know, because to be honest, I've used that term before. Like, if I'm not interested in that specific person, I might just say, like, I'm not looking for that right now when I
Okay,
really
so
like I'm not
it
looking
sounds
for
like
that.
there's two possibilities here, right? It sounds like there's one possibility you listed, which is that he's not interested in you as a person, and then the other possibility is what he's saying is true, and he doesn't want anything serious.
So regardless, that just doesn't look like
Right.
it would be worth my time to continue engaging
Exactly.
with this dynamic.
100%.
Okay.
100%. Yes. And L friend, by the way, how old are y'all?
I'm 28, he's 30.
And how old is your friend?
She's 37.
Whoa, hell of an L of a friend. You know somebody who ended engagement a month prior ain't ready to date nobody. Come on.
That's what I said. I was like, you sure? And
But
like,
it's also on you too, because why are you outsourcing your decision making, your discernment to your friend?
you're right.
Right? So it's like, and then this is the worst. It'd be one thing if you told me that he ended the engagement. He's the one who got his heart broke. Of course he's not ready to date nobody for real. Of course he's not. Nobody on the planet would be ready to date somebody for real in that situation.
I didn't think it was possible, but you're right. And also too, my friend is definitely like in mindset wise and like dating wise is not in the same place that I am.
Right.
And to put it frank, I wouldn't want to be in her dating shoes or like make the choices that she makes. So
Right.
you're so right.
Don't take advice from
Okay.
people you don't want your life like, you know. So
That's a fact.
yeah, I would leave this alone, love, and keep your search up. Okay. No
Okay. All right. Thank you.
problem,
Appreciate you.
dear. You take care.
You too.
Mhm. He says, "Why ask advice from her?" A great question, but I will say that women do that often. You see who counsels them, and it's like, hey, so I guess you get out there to take advice from them. Like, now that you mention it, Tasha doesn't. Tasha doesn't know what she's talking about. She is wrong often. But I know that confuses men. Here's what you have to understand. And this is why we have to get back to like first principles. Part of the feminine is women take in like more data than men do. They just take in more information, right? Just how we move, the difference of how we move through reality. That's why they always say like men are more simple, right? Women take in more information, which means they can be overwhelmed as like a default setting. Part of the benefits of the masculine is to help offer structure around it. We have different gifts that we add to one another. The masculine can help add structure and direction. The feminine can amplify. It's one of the beautiful things that women add is they amplify. This is symbolically represented by them taking the seed and turning that into a baby, right? Turn a house into a home. They oftentimes can amplify a man's vision. A man has a vision. Woman, the feminine, can amplify that, and he can achieve more because of her input than he would achieve by himself, right? There's a guy who I saw, he's a business owner. He was like, he has all women in his business, and he was like, you ever want something to grow, just put women around it, because the feminine works that way. So like, embrace that, just like men should embrace our ability to add structure. Because all she needed was structure. That's it. She knew the right answer, but because she's taking in so much data and women are so feeling focused, they can get overwhelmed. So they need the masculine oftentimes to come in and add structure, right? Especially as they develop and start integrating their own masculinity, it helps to like outsource it a bit. You know, the goal of men is to integrate our femininity and still be rooted and grounded in our masculinity. And the goal of women is to integrate their masculinity and still be rooted and grounded in their femininity. That way they become more whole, right? Anyway, I'm gonna go too deep on that. But let me see, who else we got? West Coast Senorita. Let's see if Shorty connects. Also, if you need help integrating your other side, icon right here, hit that at the bottom of the screen, shoot me a message for 1 hour coaching or ask you about your situation. If I can help, I will send you the link to book your call, okay? While we wait for West Coast Senorita to join. Buddy told her that after one date too. That's how I know he wasn't ready. He was like, you know what? This don't even feel right. I will crack though, if you can be so kind. If you could be so kind, I would definitely like to crack, but I can't offer much more than that.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What can I do for you?
So I've been watching you, and I just had a question. I think you do good at asking the right questions to get the solution. So I know you like the question first. So these are my questions. Well, I have two. So mine's built like more of emotional intimacy and compatibility. So basically, how long to give it before walking away? That's my first question. And then, like, what are some signs that someone can't meet my emotional intimacy needs early on? Because I can give you the situation. I've been dating someone for 5 months. I can give you that situation. But to me, in my head, it was just, we're just different. And I didn't know if he was emotionally unavailable or we were just different.
Okay. Love this question. Go ahead.
I'm
Tell me.
sorry?
I said, I love this question, love the structure, love the energy, love the vibe. Okay?
Thank you. I was nervous, so I'm
You're
really
good.
a private person, but I just needed some insight.
You're good. Go ahead and give me the details. Everything you feel is relevant.
Okay, so I've been dating this guy for about 5 months now. So the thing is, yesterday, I told him that he's a phone person. I'm a texter.
Okay.
And even when I do try to like adjust to him and I get on the phone with him, he doesn't really say much, right? He just is quiet, it's awkward. I don't like that. So yesterday I texted him, hey, I have a lot on my mind. He said, and then instead of asking like, what's on your mind? He just goes to, you could text, but why are you not calling me? So then I was like, because the calls are so awkward and we don't say nothing. There's no questions. It is no depth. It's just surface level conversations, right? So then out of nowhere, he just says, let's take a break. I said, okay. I left it at that. I'm the type person, my non-negotiable is I don't do breaks. I don't believe in that. I'm 35. I don't believe in that. So I left it as okay. I don't care to know why. I don't care. He just said, he was texting, after he said that, he was texting me all this stuff. And then he shows up at my house, which is I told him it's a boundary of mine, right? And his boundary's the same. He told me if I ever show up at his house unannounced, he's ending the relationship, right? So I think it's just a one-sided boundary issue as well. So then he shows up, we have a talk or whatnot. And I just let him know how I feel. He let me know how he feel. I just told him I don't think we're compatible, like at all. I think we're just going to keep clashing because it's like, I told him like you dismiss my emotional needs, lifestyle mismatch. I'm a homebody. I don't like to do much. And he's outgoing. He likes to be out in the nightlife. And it's just one-sided boundary. And it's just feeling boring and I just feel disconnected from him. And he said, well, we can make it work. I feel like we can make it work. But then I told him, so why would you say, let's take a break? And he's like, well, I'll just reacting. And I'm not a reactor of my emotion. I used to be, but I'm not. I lean towards anxious, but I'm working on it, So then we had that conversation. So now I'm just like reluctant to, I don't know if I should stay in it or not. Or because I already invested 5 months, so I don't know, can emotional intimacy be built? Because I feel like if I'm not safe with you emotionally, then that's just it. I don't know how you can work on that.
Okay. So it's been 5 months. How did y'all meet?
We actually met when I finally went outside when I went to a party at a reggae place.
Okay, nice. Organically. I like that. Okay. So 5 months. You said that. So for the entire 5 months, has he been this boring on the phone?
Yes, from day one.
Okay. What do you like about him?
And that's what I keep asking myself. And the only thing I can come up with is that I'm 35, and I think my desperation is starting to kick in. I want a family, and he wants a family, and we both want to get married. Those are the only things that I can think of, and that he's a great father.
He already has children?
He has one. He has one daughter, and I've met the daughter already. I met the mom.
Okay.
So that's why I'm reluctant.
How long ago was your last relationship?
My last relationship was about a year ago.
How long did it last?
I want to say it lasted about 2 years.
Why did it end?
It's just the lifestyle choices he was making. I did not like at all.
Like, give me an example if you don't mind.
Just like habits, like drinking habits and things like that, and it was costing me my peace, and I was just like, I can't afford that anymore.
Right. What did you like about him?
Our chemistry was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had the chemistry that me and my ex had. I wish I had it with this man, because this man is a great man. It's just the chemistry is off. It's just, that's the only thing I could think of, is just the chemistry and the compatibility. Like, this guy that I'm dating, he just questions my lifestyle. He don't understand me, and I feel like he likes pictures. I hate pictures. I'm a planner. He's spontaneous. He'll call me and say, today, 10 p.m., oh, let's go do something. And I'm like, oh, no, I can't. I'm very structured. Mm-hmm. I got to wake up in the morning. I got to go to the gym.
So you met him. Did you, pretty quickly ask about, start having compatibility conversations?
I didn't know what that looked like, honestly. I just was like, okay, I didn't know what that meant, because I've never really had, a healthy relationship. So I'm trying to date with intentions, but I think it's my fault too, because I didn't ask the right questions. I didn't know if we were compatible or not. I just thought we were different. That's it. We're different. We can figure this out. But then lately, since we've been clashing more, I'm like, I don't think we're compatible. It just hit me.
Right. So it's safe to say that all the guys you dated before this guy, you had chemistry with?
Absolutely.
Gotcha. Okay. And this guy, you seemed like you felt like you could build a life with, because what y'all wanted were similar.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yes.
It's a mistake a lot of women make. Have you been here long enough to hear my speech on spark and safety?
I have, but I don't quite understand it.
Okay. So there's two sides of attraction, spark and safety. Spark is basically desire, right? So when I coach guys, I tell guys that, traits that give off spark is like boldness, confidence, playfulness, smoothness, looking good, dressing well. Those are traits that give off spark. Safety is pretty much exactly what the name suggests. Safety, right? It's connection. So when you say you want someone who's emotionally intelligent, when you say you want someone who's a leader, who can provide and protect, right? Who is genuinely interested in you, that's safety. Now, both men and women need both, or they want both, right? Problem is, most people are top heavy with one of those and deficient in the other. So guys who primarily give spark, you feel a lot of chemistry with them. You enjoy them, but you can't stay in the connection because they don't offer safety.
Exactly.
Guys who offer safety may add, some sort of, they may be consistent, they may be emotionally intelligent, or in your case, they may just want what you want, and then that gives you the safety, but they're missing the spark, right? What you're describing is a guy who's given safety and not the spark. You're effectively stage 2. What you do is a lot of women will date spark guys or toxic guys for a long time, sometimes, over and over and over again. Then ultimately they're like, okay, well, these guys just hurt me, or they're not good for me. So what they do is they overcorrect, and they go from spark guys to safety guys. But all they did was swap one problem for another one, for a different one. Problem here is, you just don't like them that much.
I thought so too.
Right.
The thing is though, I don't feel emotionally safe with him though.
Right. The safety here, the way that it's manifesting, is because yours isn't so clean. Because a lot of times women do this, they'll get with a guy he's like nice. Mm-hmm. He's good on paper. Mm-hmm. They'll correct for a guy who's good on paper. But then over time they'll grow to resent him because they just don't like him like that. So then it's like when he tries to spend time with them, it's almost like an eye roll moment, because it's like, I don't really want to spend time with you, right? So she ends up resenting him. He feels the resentment, and then the relationship just becomes toxic in a different way. right?
So do you think I resent him because there's no
No,
emotional
you haven't been with him long enough for the resentment. When I said that, I'm basically like playing it out over the course of years.
Oh, okay, over time.
In your situation, you haven't even gotten with a guy who's like really safe. You got with a guy who at
No.
least wants what you want, and that's where the safety is coming from. It's not so you're not getting a lot of safety from this person. You're getting more than you gotten with the previous relationship. So it's like at least you want what I want, and then that's where you feel safe. But you're not getting any spark, which you're calling chemistry here. So ultimately, this is still not a connection that will work. It will just not work for a different reason than your previous relationships.
Okay.
You gotta have chemistry. You gotta like the person. I tell people, first date is a chemistry test. You can find out chemistry fast. Like compatibility takes a bit more time because people can lie. You know what I mean? They can misrepresent themselves. You find out chemistry relatively quickly. So the first date, like the correction that I tell both men and women to make is, especially when they get older, they start to move with more intention, and now they start to be off-putting because it feels like they're putting the other person in the hot seat. They're going the first date and be like, do you want kids? Or like, how long ago was your last relationship? Have you been to therapy? And the other person's like, chill out. You know what I mean? Because people decide on who they want to deal with based on primarily how they feel. And when you come out the gate with that energy, you make the other person not feel good. Right? So the first date needs to be like a vibe check. The first date is just chemistry. Do I like you? Do you like me? Do I enjoy time with you? Do you enjoy time with me? Now that I know I can enjoy you, now let's see if our life actually aligns.
Is that by asking questions though to see if you like them?
It's by being you can ask questions, but it's also like if you have a little bit of finesse, just observing. Because a lot of compatibility is implied. Like if you have a child, how good of a parent are you? You can tell how good of a parent someone is by just letting them talk about their children.
Exactly.
Do they talk about their children? Do they talk about seeing their children? Their birthday's coming up. Do they have plans? What they're going to do for their birthday? You see what I'm saying? Like you kind of assess, okay, this person seems like they're a good parent, right? You can even assess there are certain things you want to ask. There's other things you want to observe.
Yeah, because I know with me, it wasn't, even yesterday when he texted me, let's take a break, I felt like a relief. Like, I knew there was no, and I was like, why don't I, it was a relief for me because it's like, I'm not invested in you emotionally either, and you're not invested in me emotionally.
That's two stage 2 people. He's likely anxiously attached as well, and he said, let's take a break because he thought that you wouldn't want that, and that would make you chase.
Right,
and then
exactly.
You didn't chase, and he was like, fuck, okay. Well, I think we can make this work. He had to shift strategies then because his strategy didn't work.
Yeah, he just shows up at my house. And then the last straw was when he told me, it's so weird. He told me that, this was like, I was like, oh yeah, this is not going to work because he told me, and he said it more than once. He said, I told him like, okay, so scenario, if I get, if I have an emergency or if I need you or something and I show up to your house unannounced, he's like, no, that's not going to work. You're going to have to call 911 or call your dad. My dad lives right next door to me. And then I told him, then what do I need you for? Like, why would I need you if I can't call you in case of an emergency? And his way of thinking, I just don't understand. It's like, I need a leader, and you say you're a leader, but...
What you have to also understand is like most people who are single are stage 2. Stage 2 is predicated on defense and them trying to learn strategies, right? So...
Yeah.
Him even telling you that, I don't even think that's real. I think he heard somebody say, as a man, you want to be attractive to women. You don't let them pop up at your house and stuff like that. You got to set boundaries. That was his attempt of setting a boundary without any kind of finesse, without any kind of social graces. And how do we know?
TikTok a lot.
How do we know that? How do we know that? Because when he felt you pulling away, what's the first thing he did? Pop up at your crib. This is everyone's playing strategies now. They're learning from other people, right? And then, so how do you judge dating and relationship advice? I tell people, here's how to do it. I don't care if you listen to me or somebody else. If the advice makes you a better person, listen to it. If you're listening to someone advise you on dating and relationships, and it's just like, do this to get what you want, bad person to listen to. Because you're going to be performative. He's performative. Even that boundary that he set was a performative boundary. He's doing things in a way that he thinks. He's performing in a way that he thinks will make you like him more. So he learned, oh, set boundaries, and that shows that you're strong. So he's like, nah, you pop up in my crib, you better call the police. You can't do that here.
Yeah.
And then when you leave, oh, please don't leave me. Like, it's that you see the real come out then.
Exactly.
You see that
and
real
he even
wound.
told me from day one, I would never pop up at your crib. I would never show up. But he did it more than once. And that boundary, I set it. And I'm like, if I can't, no, this is one-sided boundary. That's not going to work for me. I don't like you just showing up.
Right.
And then he makes the excuse, I just want to make sure you were okay. No, I just don't want to talk to you, you know?
It's just performative.
So
but that's
he's
the
anxious
thing.
avoidant? Because I need to research
It's
that.
not anxious avoidant. It gets attachment styles, like the way that you see it on social media, it like oversimplifies it. It gets a lot more complicated. So there's a fearful avoidant, which is like someone who literally has anxious attachment and avoidant attachment simultaneously. Oh, okay. But then there are people who are at stage 2 who are anxiously attached, but then they start to behave like an avoidant in order to protect themselves. When you look at guys who join the red pill, they're pretty much being told to behave like an avoidant. I would see even the women who do like the Shira 7 shit, they're being told to behave avoidant. So you have a lot of anxious people out there now who are behaving like an avoidant, either to protect themselves or because somebody online told them to deploy these strategies. But then when they get activated, that's when you see the real them come out.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Right? So that's why I mean it's performative. Like, you're not really an avoidant like that. You're just using these strategies. You're not really as detached. You're trying, people pretend like they ain't really into you like that. That's the goofiness of today's dating world. It ain't always been that way. It used to be if you was feeling shorty or you was feeling him, you just said it. Now you date people and they pretend like they don't like you like that because they don't want to like you more than you like them. And then it's like, oh, now they have the leverage. It's just a goofiness. It's just everybody's playing defense. Stage 2 people are playing defense, right? So he's stage 2. He's playing defense. And the way that he's been showing up is not working. So now you're seeing him desperately try to solve the issue. And the problem with anxiously attached people is they can be very manipulative. So the whole thing of seeing if you were okay is manipulative. It's a lie. He came there because he feels the connection slipping.
Oh, absolutely. He knows I'm starting to pull back, and he's starting to pull it more.
Right, but ultimately it doesn't matter because you don't have any kind of chemistry with this person, so you can't ultimately be with them
at all. So I think it's just best to just walk away. Okay, that's why I need a confirmation. Thank you so much.
No problem, love. Best of luck to you. All right.
Thank you.
Again, people, I know y'all getting a lot of insight from this live. You get 10x more insight and actionable advice when you have your 1-hour coaching call. Okay, this icon right here, hit that bottom of the screen, shoot me a message. I'll ask you about your situation. If I can help you, I will send you a link to book your call. But that's funny, right? How people who are anxious can act avoidant. You see that a lot. At stage 2, anxious people act avoidant, and avoidant people become more hyper independent at stage 2. At stage 2, anxious people will act avoidant, and avoidant people will become more hyper independent. Okay. You got to move up those stages. If you don't move up those stages, let me just be clear. People stay at stage 2 for their entire lives. There's 4 stages. People stay at stage 2 their entire lives often. Most of the single market is stage 2. Okay? Most people who are in the single market are stage 2. So it's best for you to move to stage 3. 1, because you'll have more. Yeah, Danny, stage 2 does have subtypes. I don't talk about it a lot, but there's like a quiet stage 2 and there's a loud stage 2. The quiet stage 2 is more like polished. They're a bit more polished. But I'll get into it a bit more as I start to develop it more. But when you move up to stage 3, you have more life satisfaction because you start generating more of that internal supply, which makes you feel okay with yourself. You transition from needing another person to just wanting one and choosing one, right? Because again, you cannot need someone and choose them simultaneously, right? They contradict. You can only choose a person if you don't need them. Stage 1 and stage 2 people choose people primarily out of need. So they choose bad people because if you're starving, you'll eat anything. If you're starving, you will eat anything. If you need someone, you're likely to hop on someone who is not great for you. When you transition to stage 3, that's when you can actually start choosing people, okay? And if you're at stage 3, you can help someone who's at stage 2 move up. Not directly, but indirectly. If you're a stage 3 person and you're dating a stage 2 person, you can create the conditions where a stage 2 person can move up. Because one way that a stage 2 person can move up is they are loved properly. They find someone who's like consistent and not a threat. And that allows them to drop their guard and move up the stage. They can also do this independently. They don't need to be with someone to accomplish that. But if you're a stage 3 person, you can help somebody move up. The same way that we can create conditions to damage a person, we can also create the conditions to heal a person. Now, let me be clear. You're not healing them. You're just creating the conditions where if they choose to heal, they'll heal. Because what you'll also find is a lot of stage 2 people will run from you because you're stage 3 and they don't want to be hurt. But you will oftentimes, it's a bit more rare, but from time to time find a stage 2 person who has a bit more capacity and you love them or engage them in the precise way that you need to or that they need. And that is the catalyst that causes them to go from stage 2 to stage 3. Is it possible for stage 3 to move down to stage 2 after being hurt? Yep. You can go the opposite direction as well. You absolutely can go the opposite direction. Are the stages like attachment? Attachment styles are layered over stages. So stage 1, you are likely anxious, avoidant, or fearful avoidant. If you're stage 2, anxious and avoidant. Stage 3, subtype A, avoidant. Stage 3, subtype B, which is the healthier one, secure. Stage 4, secure. Avoidant people have an advantage over anxious people in terms of development because an avoidant person still has an identity. So they're protecting themselves, right? An anxious person does not have an identity. They don't have a self to protect. That's why they're known to like merge with somebody else. So they're they're lower on the development ladder. Avoidant people still aren't healthy, but at least they have a self to protect. An anxious person doesn't have a self. They don't have a sense of self. So very important to develop. If you're at stage 1 or stage 2 and you're trying to find partnership, you're likely going to sabotage yourself regardless of what you do, unless you have this awareness. You're likely going to sabotage yourself regardless of what you do unless you have this awareness. So part of the 1-hour coaching calls is so when you schedule a 1-hour coaching call with me, like I said, I'm going to ask you about your situation. I'll only send you the link to book if I know I can help you, meaning I've dealt with someone in your exact situation before. And you'll get clarity on that call and an action plan to help solve whatever problem you have. So you're paying for a solution to your problem. You're not paying for an hour of my time. You're paying for a solution to your problem, which will take an hour of my time, okay? For people who've already had their 1-hour coaching calls, they have the option of getting the 3 30-minute call implementation package, where you get 3 30-minute calls over the course of 60 days where we can implement these things. Because as you know, you may get advice, apply it, and then things shift. Look at Pierre's situation. Pierre's in a situation where we thought Shorty was bad, and then she came back. We thought she was good, and now she came back again, and now we're like she's bad again. Your situation will evolve. And you may need to course correct. You may need to shift strategies. You may need to deploy different tactics. That's what the 3 called implementation packages is for you to help adapt to whatever is going on. Or if you're not dealing with someone right now, it's to help you to continue to grow, right? Then there's a bigger package after that, which is transformative. I haven't decided if I'm giving my bigger package, my 3-month package to women yet. Men have access to it. That's the transformation package. That's when like we get you to a place where you don't even need me. You develop and transform to a place where you solve your own problems on autopilot. All right, we're not taking any more calls, unfortunately. If you're new here, make sure to follow. I go live twice a day, so I will be live again 9 p.m. tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern time tonight. But if you have a question, you can drop it in the chat, and I'll be here for a little while longer. But if you have a question, you can drop it in the chat. I'll answer it there. I had a lot of calls come through. Do you find very different issues with men versus women? They're pretty much at the core the same. It's just they're expressed differently. We're more alike than we are different. We're more alike than we are different. The same issues from different sides, right? Right. Been with her for 10 plus years. Shit's not good all of a sudden. We have 3 kids. What's going on? That might require a call, brother. There's so many questions I have to ask you. When I say ask your question in the chat, I mean like simple questions, not questions that require a phone call. There's nothing I can do with that without a lot more details. I mean, you're not fucked, brother. You can always schedule your 1-hour coaching call, and I'll solve it for you. Nice with this shit. Have people with requirements that they lack themselves? I don't know what you're asking me. Where should you go on a first date? A place that, hold on, you're a woman. Wherever you want to go. Honestly, when I coach men, I tell them to go to a place that aligns with their strengths. Me, I'm a conversationalist, so any place where I can converse with you is a great time. But if I can't talk, I'm not as effective. I mean, I'm still effective. Nice. But nothing is better for me than talking. If you're not a great talker, a coffee date probably is not a good decision. Maybe you want to go play mini golf or some shit. All right? Play to your strengths. That's just a rule for life. Always play to your strengths. So which stage am I? Because I'm not interested in a man after separation. Likely stage 2. You sound like you're on defensive. If you were with a man, that means you like men. Had you not gone through a painful experience, you would still like men. And you only don't want a man because of the pain. So it's defensive. Stage 2. If you're here, you're likely stage 2. So when you have to ask the questions, the reason why I know if you're here, you're stage 2 is because stage 2 people are looking for answers and they're looking for ways. They know they're doing something wrong and they're trying to do it better. So like 95% of you are stage 2. A few of you are stage 3. Likely no one here is stage 4. Stage 1 people don't reflect. So they likely wouldn't be here. If they are here, it's because they want to hear the drama from the phone calls, not because they want to learn how to do something. This is a room of stage 2 people. Dad, you're stage 2 as well. Remember, you went from spark guys to safety guys because of the pain you associated with the spark guys. If you're making decisions from a place of avoiding pain, you're by default stage 2, no matter how that manifests. It's by default stage 2. If you are making decisions from the place of avoiding pain, you are absolutely stage 2. Which books would you highly recommend that helps you? 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem is a good one. Would you say there are reactive 2s and reflective 2s? Stage 2 is about, you get to stage 2 by reflecting. Stage 1 does not reflect. Stage 1 is completely reactive. To even get to stage 2, you reflect. Doesn't mean you're great at it, because your perception is greatly distorted because you're viewing everything from your wound and you're projecting a lot. You do not perceive reality accurately, right? But yeah, it's stage 2. I'm here because I like the conversation and how the brain works. Okay. Yeah, there's outliers here, but certainly if you're asking questions, it's probably stage 2 thing. Broke up and now I feel the spark. What does that mean? How do you feel the spark with someone you broke up with? Are y'all still engaging with each other? Because sniff test of that is you're likely avoidant. Avoidantly attached people suppress. If they want to if they unconsciously start deactivating, they'll suppress how they feel about their partner. Because to feel connected to them, to feel positive about them is threatening. So they suppress that feeling. But then when you break up, they're no longer threatening. So now those feelings can come back. That's why a lot of avoidant people come back. Because you're no longer threatening to them after the relationship ends. And now they can actually feel positive feelings for you again. Then they get back together with you, and then you become threatening again, and then the cycle repeats. Can stage 1 and stage 2 work well in a relationship? Stage 1 ain't working with nobody. A stage 1 person is not with you for real. They don't even see you as a separate entity with your own inner world. Stage 1 people make relational decisions purely from a place of how does this person make me feel. That's all they care about. They don't view you as a separate person with your own desires and dreams and fears. You are a source of external supply. As long as they can get external supply from you, cool. If they can't, they move on and get it from someone else. Everyone should avoid stage 1 people. Stage 2 people are workable. Stage 1 people are not. Self-sabotage. You might be fearful of avoidant love. So how do you stop? I mean, you can book. Listen, y'all be asking me questions. You can always book your 1-hour coaching call. You can always do that. This isn't. If you have a question of how do I do X, default answer is you can always book your 1-hour coaching call. You're just getting surface level answers in this live. I don't have the time to go so deep in your specific situation that we heal you. Like that can't happen in this live. That happens during coaching though. Never ending roller coaster, right? If you're unsociable, don't do a lot of social outings. Does that make me anxious? I mean, it could. It doesn't guarantee it. What is stage 1 and stage 2? Stage 1 doesn't really have a strong sense of self. They don't have an identity. Stage 2 are trying to avoid pain. I think I met one too many stage 1s. I doubt it, Isaac. I think you've probably dealt with a lot of stage 2 people. Stage 2 people are most of the single market right now. How do we know if they're stage 1? I mean, it would be really obvious, to be honest with you. They're very reactive. I don't even know how y'all are here, and even with stage 1. I don't think I've ever dated a stage 1 woman. One, there's like a age component to it. So like, you're likely not stage 1 and 30. It's highly unlikely. Because you get to stage 2 with pain. You don't go from stage 1 to stage 2 because of a decision. You just get hurt. It's highly unlikely that you get to past age 25 without being hurt by somebody. So you're probably dating stage 2 people. Like Daz, both of them were stage 2. Where can you meet 4s? 4s are likely married already or already in relationships. Mom says, I'm unable to message you. Have you messaged me before and I didn't answer? Because that would be the only reason why you can't message me. Moss, can we get a screenshot of Anna Marie so I can check? And put it in the mod chat, please. You'd be surprised the stage 1s are lurking in the midst. Super, do you really think that I would be surprised? Me? I would be surprised? What are the odds of that? The guy doing coaching calls every day and actively dating? Surprised? I don't think so. But I will say, yeah, there are stage 1s out there, but if you're dating them, you're very undeveloped. That's more of a reflection of you. You're dating stage 1 people. My question is why? That's a reflection of you. Why are you entertaining? I don't think I've talked to a stage 1 person. It's so obvious. They also don't respond to, stage 1 people are only attracted to toxicity. The way that they feel spark is anxiety. The way they feel safety is goofy shit like control. You want to hear like what a stage 1 woman will say? I want my man crazy about me. I want one that's gonna pop up at your job, call and answer the phone. Yes, babe. I need him crazy. That's stage 1. That's a stage 1 woman. Do you think me and a woman like that would ever even cross paths? You think we're in the same venues? You think we're in the same spaces? No. I won't even cross paths. So if you are crossing paths with them, my question is why? Why are you? That's some reflection that we got to do. Even if you do see them at work, like obviously you'll see them at certain places, but like it's so obvious that I don't want to engage you. You can find a lot of them at Walmart in the produce section. No, I went to Food Line one day. This is why I got to stay in Publix. I went to Food Line one day, went by the meats. Shorty was in there in her pajamas. Just scratching her ass. Just scratching her ass. Scratching her cheeks. Both of them. Both cheeks got scratched. Couple questions. Why your ass itch so much? Second question is, why do you have to scratch directly on the meat? You couldn't go outside the fabric? She had to bypass the pajamas, bypass the drawers, if she had any on. That is still questionable to this day. Didn't seem like the type. She did have them on. They probably were also the same ones from yesterday. So, probably why the ass was itching. Now, it made sense. We solved the problem. We just solved the problem. Mystery solved. Ass was itching because drawers was dirty. More than likely. I just left my cart. I said, you know what? I knew not to come here. Let me go back to Publix where I feel safe. Where I feel safe. Publix got a stage 3, got a stage 2 vibe to it, man. Big stage 3 vibe. If you go to a place and they got like shit locked up, like if you're a man, you're trying to get shaving equipment and stuff like that. You're a woman, you're trying to get your goods, right? And the shit's locked up and you got to press a button for assistance. Stage 1 people go there. A lot of stage 1 people in attendance in that place. So I naturally don't even like going to those environments. I don't feel good in them. Where do fearful avoidance generally land on the stages? 1 and 2. 1 and 2. For sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. Fearful avoidance are tough though, man. You just have to leave back out. I can't eat meat after that. You ruined the meats for me. I think I ate salad that night. I said I didn't want any meat that night. Eat some leafy greens. Like this is the land before time. That's the indicator that even my car ain't safe there. Right. What does the organic progression of someone going to stage 4 looks like? Okay, I'll explain it to you like this. There's a process to learning any skill, right? I've explained this before. You start off with unconscious incompetence. You don't know how bad you are. When you first learned to drive, you had unconscious incompetence. You had no idea how bad you were with driving. The next step is conscious incompetence. You know how bad you are, right? So you're aware of how bad you are at this activity, okay? The next step from that is conscious competence. You know that you're good, right? You know how everything in the car works. You know how to drive. You know how to follow the speed limit, all the kind of 3-point turn, parallel park. You know, it takes a lot of effort. You got to think about it, but you know now. The last step is unconscious competence, meaning you're not even thinking about it anymore, right? So when you're in the car, you're driving, you're not looking at mirrors. You're not looking to see if like you're in neutral or drive. You're just driving, right? You may even drive and not even remember the trip because you're so not thinking about it. The stages work the same way. Stage 1 is unconscious incompetence. They don't even know how bad they are. They have no awareness. Stage 2 is conscious incompetence. They now know that they're bad. Hence, you all come here because you have conscious incompetence. You're like, I'm doing something wrong. May not know what it is, but I'm doing something wrong, right? That's stage 2. Stage 3 is conscious competence. So now you're good, but it takes effort. That's where I am. That's where I'm at. I'm at conscious competence. I'm good, but I gotta think about it. Stage 4 is unconscious competence. You're not even thinking anymore. So stage 4, all the stages is about addition. So stage 1 and stage 2 is about pain. Stage 2 to stage 3, skill acquisition and awareness. Stage 3 to stage 4, removal. The thing with stage 3 is you can kind of manage how you're being perceived. You know, guys learn game and stuff like that. They start managing how they're being perceived, right? They edit themselves a little bit. It's still attractive because they're editing like the unattractive qualities. Stage 4 is presence. I'm here in the now with you. Stage 2 person is future oriented, right? The previous stages are either, they're not present. Stage 1, 2, and 3, the more you go up, the more you become present, but the lower stages aren't really present. They're either fixated on the past or projecting into the future, but they're not present. Stage 3 is when you start becoming more present, but you got to kind of like shift your attention back to present awareness. Stage 4 is kind of like your default setting for the most part. Dismissive avoidant can be stage 1, 2, or 3. What about people who jump in relationships unhealed? Stage 1 move on faster than anyone else because they're not really choosing anyone. They just go off of vibes. If you aren't stage 4, no one is. You're being too humble by claiming 3. I'm on my way, big dog. I hear you. I appreciate it. Very kind words. I am on my way to stage 4. For sure. I'm not there yet, though. Because I still have to try. Even now, if I'm talking to a woman, sometimes I have to, shift back to presence. It's so beautiful being present. Think about it. You're talking to someone. This is how it feels. Stage 1, you're talking to someone. They say something that hits your insecurity. You react. Fuck you just say? Stage 2, you're talking to someone. They say something that hits your insecurity. You clock it. I don't know about, I'm going to go ahead and separate I'm going to pull back because this person, they're going to hurt me, right? Look at what they just said. Why they say that, right? That's stage 2. Stage 3, you're talking to someone. They say something that hits your insecurity. You register it. You feel yourself fixating on it, and then you go back to presence. And then you just let it go away. Stage 4, the person says something that hits the insecurity, you register it, and then it naturally moves away without you shifting your focus. That's a great example, because that really is how it works. That's really how it works. But you see how each stage, they can go through the same experience, but how they respond differently to it? But stage 3, it's like you're doing the same thing stage 4 does, but you got to try. It's like, they said that. Oh, they said I'm bald. Why would they say I'm bald? Nope. Back to her. Boom. Got to try. Stage 4, they notice it still. Bald. I don't like that. Anyway, she has nice lips, right? Back there. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. The higher you go up, the harder it is to go up. The more improvements you make, the harder it is to improve, right? It's like when you lose weight. Danny will appreciate this example. Let's say you're really overweight. You start losing weight, you lose a lot of weight. But when you try to get off those last 5 pounds, it's hard. It's hard. It's harder than it was to lose the first 20. So getting to stage 3 to stage 4 is the hardest jump. You might be there for a while. But even if you never get to stage 4, stage 3, you already are you're at a place where you can have a really healthy relationship with somebody. So the goal shouldn't be, let me get to stage 4. The goal should just be progress. Because if you get to stage 3, if you get where I'm at, you can have a healthy relationship. You don't have to be at stage 4. I'm always noted, but they don't realize I caught it. Yeah, that's that stage 2, Maya. That's that stage 2. If you write a book on it, this is topping all the charts. Appreciate you. I might write something on it. That was a great explanation. Good. You have an example / character, even that is stage. An example, like a fictional character to stage 4? That might be helpful. I don't have one top of mind right now, but that might be helpful. But there's also so much variance with these stages. You can't look at success and shit like that to denote stages. Give you an example. If you watch Rick and Morty, Rick from Rick and Morty is stage 2. He's wound driven. He's protection driven. Smartest man in the galaxy. Very accomplished. Still motivated by his wound. Still perceiving everything through his wound. Right? So, yeah. Some people think because they got money and all that kind of stuff. Is stage 4 really a baseline stage, or when you access and burst? When you're stage 3 and you're working on yourself, you can access stage 4. You just can't stay there. I'll access stage 4. If I'm regulated, had good enough sleep, ate some good food, prayed up, talk to my Heavenly Father, all that kind of stuff, I can access stage 4. If I'm dysregulated or triggered, I can access stage 3. If I'm really dysregulated, I can go to stage 2. I could drop down to stage 2. It'll be temporary, but I can drop. What if they say their former partner looks better than you and you're already insecure? Why are you with someone who even shares that type of information with you? How do men feel about women who have lost a lot of weight? I mean, I can't answer for all men. I think it's a good thing, but I'm suspicious. I want to know that is a lifestyle. You didn't, because a lot of women who lose a lot of weight, you got to discern if it's a lifestyle change or she just want to lose some weight. Because if it's a lifestyle change, then she'll stay that way, relatively speaking. If she just want to lose some weight, shorty gonna get big again. Watch. If it was just summer coming up, or she trying to fit into an old dress, some shit like that, she gaining that weight back. Bet your bottom dollar, it's coming back. It is coming back. The way you threw Danny in there made me chuckle. Right, you gotta throw Danny and shit. Stage 4 just sounds like a blissful way of life, no constant self-editing. I mean, it's biblical, right? The Bible tells you not to fixate on the past or focus on the future. It tells you to be present. I want to say probably all the main religions tell you to be present. Even spiritual practices tell you to be present. All the best things happen in the present moment. I'm at the point where I feel like they either need to be at the same stage or above my stage. Right. Okay, but let's think about from their perspective. What if they're thinking the same way? If they're above your stage, then you're below theirs. Why do you just be the one to benefit, right? A person who's more developed than you probably wants someone that's on their level and you're not on it. How do men feel about women? I already answered that. In the movie Why Did I Get Married, what would you say are the stages for Janet Jackson and her husband? I don't really remember. I remember they had like a contentious relationship. I'm going to say stage 2 for sure. Stage 2 are just more interesting characters. You see like a stage 3 person, they're normally like, they're not a focal, like when you see relationships on TV and movies, secure people are boring to watch. There's no drama, right? It's much more interesting watching toxic relationships. So most relationships you see depicted on the television will be toxic. Toxic relationships are stage 1 and stage 2. So if their relationship was toxic, then they were stage 2. So is it a spectrum or a balance? The more present, the more grounded and aware? Can you answer that question differently, Isaac? I don't understand. Well, not with Ozempic as well. That's another factor. A pill pop or a whole lifestyle change. Yeah, with Ozempic. I mean, if they're gonna be on GLP-1s, then yeah. That might be a hat. Get you a big woman, bro, and get her zimped up. Get you a big Bertha. Get her zimped up. That's probably a hat. You probably won't have her long though. You got a good little window while that self-esteem is still low. So get them zimped up, help them lose that weight, and you probably have a 6 to 18 month window before she's like, wait a second, I think I can pull, and then it's over for you. But it'll be a good few months. But she is leaving. I bet you, promise you that. Especially if she's stage 1 or stage 2. She's out of there. Maybe she want to stay healthy. Perhaps, brother. Maybe she does. Everyone asking what they can match these days. Yeah, everyone's trying to punch above their weight. They want the best they can get. But if you're getting the best you can get, you are by default not the best they can get. So, that's not how that works. Girl I'm talking to got her relationship perspective from Mills and Boom romance books. I don't even know what that is. I'm currently divorcing a stage 1 person. I'm at stage 3. It was a horrible existence, I'm sure. Did you get to stage 3 within the relationship? Because it's unlikely that you are stage 3 and then you got with the stage 1 person and then married them. That's not likely. What's more likely is that you progressed to stage 3 while within the relationship. With lower stages generally self-sabotage with higher stages in relationships? Yes. That's what I've complained about historically on this live. Women that I've dated since I've been making these lives have been stage 2 because it's so hard to find stage 3 people. Even though there will be people in the live who say, I'm stage 3. It's possible. It's not probable. It's a rare thing. They're certainly not stage 4. But stage 2 women, capacity is a real thing. Just like you could be anxious, avoidant, or fearful avoidant, and you can have high capacity or low capacity. You could be a stage 2 person who has higher capacity or low capacity. Whether or not that person runs depends on a couple of factors. One, do you know what you're doing? Because that's what I help men with. When you know the stage the person is in, I can tell you how to engage them, right? Not telling you on this live, though. You want to know that, get the coach call. All right. But if the stage 2 person has lower capacity, highly likely to run. They will not be able to sustain the connection. Their fear gets the best of them and they will run. When you're stage 3, you can be very destabilizing to a stage 2 person. If you're stage 3, you're not even really attractive to a stage 1 person. You're not even attractive to a stage 1 person. You're not even attractive to a stage 1 person. Like, what are we talking about? You think King Von would be attracted to a stage 3 woman? He might sleep with her, but he doesn't want to be in a relationship with her. It's not attractive. When you see what stage 1 people are attracted to, it's like they don't want to be with a stage. They might view a stage 3 person as weird. Why are you so calm? Right? You get to stage 3 by working on yourself. So a person who's working on themselves is with a person who doesn't even have a self to work on. That don't even make sense. So when I hear people being like, well, I'm stage 3, I'm with a person who's stage 1. I'm like, you're not stage 3 then. Either they're not a stage 1, they're stage 2, or you're not stage 3. Because y'all wouldn't even be together, to be honest with you. You wouldn't be attracted to one another. Yeah, so if you progress while in a relationship, that makes sense. Because people in relationships do grow apart. You will sometimes find one party who works on themselves and grows, and the other person doesn't keep pace. That happens. I'm a stage 2 for sure. Come to death row, baby. Come to stage 3. I'm gonna start my fundraiser so I can get my coaching call. Maya, you can probably talk one of these guys, and you can probably talk some fellas in the chat into purchasing your coaching call, to be honest with you. To be honest with you. That's a little stage 1 tactic, but you can do it. Is there a test you can take for the stages? Nope. It's my concept that I made up. It only exists on this live. Not posted it anywhere yet. I will though. Make a YouTube video today talking about it. But there's not a test you can take, Deb, but I'm pretty sure you're stage 2, love. Pretty sure. Maya says she's giving 2.8. I don't know, Maya. I don't know. Some of y'all are on your way to stage 3. For real. Eva's on her way to stage 3. If not already there. Because some people that I coach, it's like they're transitioning. And I can tell. I'm like, oh, you're right on the precipice. You're like right there. You're right there. See me after my EMDR? Right. Users, you just make the same mistake twice? 3 times? Jesus Christ, are you having a seizure? Someone check on user. She's having a stroke. She's having a stroke over there. God bless her heart. Should make a chart. I may make like a visual aid or something like that because this concept seems to really help people. I think it's helpful because you can see where you are and you can see what the next step is. It's more helpful than just like the attachment style stuff because it's like, well, yeah, I become secure, but I don't really know how to get there for real, right? With the stages, it's like, okay, you see where you are and then you see like exactly how do you get to the next thing. And it's clear, so you know exactly what to work on. Do it like the kidney disease heat map. I haven't seen that, Maya, but I know it's funny because you have already proven to me that you're a funny individual. So future me is laughing when I Google it. Can a fearful avoidant move to stage 3? Yeah. With a lot of work. Fearful avoidance, like, were my type for a long time. I love me a fearful avoidant woman. Fearful avoidance oftentimes can make the best partners because they have a really good and profound ability to attune. So they read you well, they know you well, right? They know you deeply and intimately. They kind of know what you need because they read you so well. Problem is, they also expect you to know them that well. And if you don't, they get mad at you. But you like a challenge? I don't know, man. I think I like being understood. I'm not seen often. The poetic pain that I've had to experience in life is my gift is seeing other people. I can talk to you and I'll see you deeper than most people in your life will. And I don't get seen, right? So that's a pain, that's a wound that I have. People don't really understand me, right? Fearful avoidance can, though. Fearful avoidance can. And I've just made peace with like not being seen, or I'm trying to work on making peace with it. But that's like a wound that I have. So you tend to fall for people who like can address the wound. And for me, that was fearful avoidance because I liked how well they saw me and could track me, right? Just like that. I didn't know I liked that, but that's what I like. I like being seen in that way. But you pay a cost. Boy, that price is steep. You go into debt. Because they are a challenging bunch. All right, what is your thoughts on energy work, like cleanses? I'm a Christian, love, so I just pray. Even from an efficiency perspective, I don't get the spirituality stuff. Even I come from like a spiritual background, right? But I remember having an observation one day. I was like, all right, well, this person over here has to buy crystals and shove crystals up their ass for like prosperity. He's praying. He's getting money. Logistically, seems like the prayer is a more effective strategy. Because what if the crystal falls out of your ass and then it's like, then the prosperity goes away? Then you're like, where is my brown crystal that was green at first, but since shoving up my ass, it is now brown? Where did my brown crystal go? I can't be prosperous without the brown crystal. Whereas the Christian over there just prayed anywhere, and then he gets the same result. I didn't see spiritual people get any better results than Christians. I was like, well, I don't know. You can use the tarot cards, I guess, or you could pray or just read the Bible. Because, like, what if you lose the tarot card, right? And it's like, okay, well, now you're fucking up your whole read because you don't know you lost. It's like a Monopoly piece. You lost one of the Monopoly pieces. So, fuck the game. One of the dice is missing. Goddamn, where's the other dice? We can't play this shit without the dice. So you're doing tarot readings, you done lost a card. Now all your reads is off. So I do think, I'm blessed, I'm just joking here, but there is an energetic element to Christianity as well. But I like to keep it simple. Why do you only find either spark or safety guys in the dating pool, never all in one? Same thing with women. You very rarely find a woman who gives spark and safety. It's not one-sided. Women have to also give spark and safety. It's hard because the work that people have to do is integration. What I really help people do, you think he's a dating relationship coach. Sure. I really help you integrate. And then the byproduct of doing that is better relational success. So, yes, it's rare to find people who give both spark and safety. Male or female. My experience, the thing that women often are missing, well, I can't really say women in general, because just like women do, as a man, I go after women who give spark, right? But they're often missing safety. And the safety that they're often missing is emotional regulation. They can't regulate themselves. So then they make, the regulation your responsibility. That decreases safety in the dynamic because they can't regulate themselves, right? Not all women. There's, of course, women who can do that. But you just see most women don't have that ability. I would say most men just don't create spark. They're just not good at it. Most men create safety. They do not create spark. Women may say, what do you mean most men create safety? All the men I've dated didn't create safety. That's because you were dating the spark guys who don't create safety, right? What's the difference between leaning on a man for emotional support and looking for regulation? That's a good question. There's nothing wrong with you. So there's two types of ways to regulate, right? There's co-regulation and then you can, there's self-regulation, right? Anxious people only know co-regulation. They only know how to make themselves feel better when they make it the other person's responsibility. Avoidant people don't co-regulate. They only self-regulate. Again, the work is integration, being capable of both. So it's not that you need regulation from your partner, it's that you can only regulate through co-regulation. That's the real problem. When you're in a relationship, you will co-regulate, right? What about the fearful avoidant? The fearful avoidant is not regulating at all for the most part. They're always dysregulated. That's a good question though, because you would think, okay, if anxious people can co-regulate and avoidant people can self-regulate, then that means that the fearful avoidant should be able to do both, right? They're bad with both. They're always dysregulated because either you're too close to them or you're too far away. We need to self-regulate first, then co-regulate. It's context dependent. Depends on the situation. Yes, you should be capable of both. Because if you're self-regulating, then you don't need co-regulation. You should just be capable of doing both. I feel like healthy regulation is like a knowledge and emotion not letting it take you over. Yes, that's ultimately how you heal. Like with anxious attachment, ultimately how you heal is just being okay with the anxiety and not looking at the anxiety as a problem to solve. Very hard, because most anxiously attached people, I like to equate anxious attachment to like being possessed. Really, any insecure attachment to being possessed. They over-identify with their nervous system and their feeling instead of looking at it as if it's just a feeling that they can tolerate. Because when you look at it as a feeling that you can tolerate, you build capacity. When you build capacity, you don't have to act on it. Right? Makes sense? All right, people. Again, if you want your 1-hour coaching call, where we will solve your problem, whatever that may be, this icon right here, hit that at the bottom of the screen, shoot me a message. I'll ask you about your situation. If I can help you, I will send you a link to book your call. If you're new here, make sure to follow. I'll be live again tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So if I didn't get to your question today, I will get to it tonight. Appreciate the mods, appreciate the chat. I will see you all later. Y'all take care.